Students, we're going to learn about order of operations for mathematics here. The reason we do this is that there is only one correct way to evaluate expressions or simplify expressions according to these orders of operations. So we're going to remember how to do these things with the acronym here, PEMDAS, and you've probably heard this before as Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, and it stands for parentheses. We're going to do parentheses operations first. Anything inside parentheses in a mathematical expression needs to be done first before anything else. The E stands for, well, here's an example. 2 plus 3 times 5 and 16 minus 10 plus 4. If you didn't have these parentheses, you could get two different answers. If you evaluate the parentheses first, 2 plus 3 equals the first 5 here, and then the second 5 is unchanged, so 5 times 5 is 25. Notice if you did 3 times 5 first, you'd get 15. Plus 2 would be 17. 17 is not the same as 25. You have to do it according to these rules, so everybody is following these rules, so you have to as well. Okay, 16 minus the quantity 10 plus 4 in parentheses. Well, 10 plus 4, notice in the yellow here is 14. 16 minus 14 is 2. If you did 16 minus 10, you'd get 6. 6 plus 4 then would be 10, not even close to 2. So we have to follow these instructions. We do parentheses first. Then we're going to do exponents. Anything that has an exponent or something raised to a power has to be done next. Okay, now both of these are inside the parentheses, but the exponents are inside those parentheses, so I would do these first. And this looks like 8 squared is going to be 64, so 3 plus 64 is 67. 5 squared plus 2 would be 25, is 5 squared plus 2, then 27. Okay, you would not add the 3 plus 8 and get 11, and then square the 11. You'd have to do the exponent first. Okay, unless parentheses were dictating otherwise. Okay, I hope that makes sense, all right? Now, for the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, that stands for multiply and divide. Do whichever one of these comes first in the problem as you're working from left to right. So it doesn't matter if a division sign comes first or a multiplication sign comes first. You work from left to right and you just do whatever operation occurs first, multiplication or division, and you ignore addition and subtraction. Okay, this is of course after you have done the parentheses and the exponents. Okay, so here's an expression where there's no parentheses, no exponents, so we're just going to work from left to right, and we're going to look at first operation we get is going to be 2 times 6, so that equals 12. I leave the other part of the expression unchanged. 12 divided by 4 then would be my next operation. I don't go 4 by 2. I work from left to right again, and I get 3 for that. Now 3 times 2, it's only one operation left. 6 is my final answer. Hope that makes sense. Let's try another one here, okay? Addition and subtraction, you do this after multiplication and division. So there's no multiplication and division here. So what you would do here is I work left to right once again. I don't look at the minus sign. I don't look at the plus sign. I just start from left to right, and I see this first operation is going to be 8 plus 7, so I go 15. Now I look at my next line. 15 minus 5 is next, which is 10. Okay, so 10 plus 2 leads me to 12. There you go. That's how that works. Okay, always working left to right for each line. If there's a number outside parentheses, always do what's happening inside the parentheses first, then multiply your answer by the number outside the parentheses. Here's an example. If you had a 6 times the 4 plus 5, our please excuse my dear Aunt Sally says you do the parentheses first. So I must go 6 times 9, and that's not an x, that's a multiplication, which is already there. So 6 times 9 gives you 54. I would not go 6 times 4, get me 24, and then add the 5. That would give me 29. That's wrong. Okay, so please make sure you follow the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P for parentheses, do the parentheses first, simplify it, and then do your multiplication 6 times 9. Okay, let's do some practice problems now with these. Okay, first of all, here's one looks just like the other one. I'm going to do the 9 minus 4 first. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally says I do the parentheses first. I get a 5 there. 5 times 5 gives me 25. Okay, so do these in your head. I'm going to go slow, so I want you to do them in your head before I blurt out the answer. Okay, example number 2. Parentheses first, 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 7, 35. Okay, one more. Now here's my multiplication division one. Let's try one of these. working left to right. Oh, but there's parentheses. I must go 12 minus 3 first and get my 9. Then I go 5 plus 9. That's easy from there on. Uh-oh, here's one. Understand that's a multiplication problem. Okay. I work left to right doing multiplication and division first. So the first thing I do is going to be the only multiplication or division in here, which is 3 times 2. I simplify this one first and get 6. Now all I have left is addition and subtraction. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. There's no parentheses, no exponents. I did the multiplication first. Now I go and do addition and subtraction, working left to right. 8 minus 6 gives me a 2. 2 plus 7 gives me a 9. Okay, so remember that I do multiplication division first, working left to right. When those are all done, then I work left to right and do addition and subtraction. Very critical that you understand that. Okay, here's another one. Oops, looks like I have parentheses first, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So I do 10. Now there's no parentheses, no exponents, so I move on to my dear Aunt Sally, or multiplication division, working left to right. Looks like I'm going to get 4 divided by 2 for a 2. 2 times 10 gives me 20. Another one here. Okay, no exponents, no parentheses. So I do multiplication division, working left to right. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Done with everything here. The first 4, please excuse my dear. Now I go to addition and subtraction, working left to right. 14 for the 10 plus 4 minus 6, I get an 8. Okay, 15 times 10 squared. Well, let's see. Please, no parentheses. Excuse my dear Aunt Sally, E for exponents. Okay, so I got to do that first. 100 times 15, there's only one operator left, so 1500 or 1500. All right, parentheses. So I got to simplify those first. 4 plus 3 gives me a 7. 7 plus 2 times 7. Now what do I do next? Multiplication or division, working from left to right. So I ignore the plus sign. Come over here, I do 2 times 7, 14 first. 7 plus 14, 21. Parentheses first, so I get a 16. No multiplication or division, so nothing to worry about there. I do addition and subtraction, working left to right. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 plus 16 is 18. All right, I hope that works for you. Please remember your phrase. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. There you go. That should help you with doing these orders of operation.